Gary Gensler continues his attack on crypto. Bitcoin is pumping, but the Google trends are still low, meaning the best days are yet ahead of us. And then a cop got caught stealing 81 Bitcoin on the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. We got a fantastic show because we got two of my favorite traders in the world right now. We got one with the best thumbnails and one, he just loves Chainlink almost as much as me. But Piano Matty B to lead the way. Piano Matty B, how are you doing today?
Couldn't be better up here in the Maple Curtain. 0 degrees. Perfect weather up here.
Shirts love... shirts off for Canucks means, like 10 degrees Celsius. Also right. On today, we have Army Piper with the Chainlink hat. Army Piper, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing, man?
Well, Chainlink's above $20, I think still. So you know what? We're doing okay. All right. Well, first, let's talk about Gary Gensler and his attack on Bitcoin. He was just on CNBC, the Squawk Box, blasting Bitcoin, calling it centralized, continuing his attack and saying it led the market in ransomware, which is probably potentially true here. He also expressed concerns about investor protection, highlighted the association with illicit activities. Then I went back, I checked out his 2018 MIT speeches on blockchain. You go back there, he was a big bull on Bitcoin. He was a big bull on cryptocurrency. You fast forward to today, says, well, why would anyone want anything like this? In fact, I'm going to pull up a tweet in a little bit where he talks about who cares about an immutable ledger? Acts like it's a flaw, not a feature. But Piano Matty B, Gensler used to be a big fan of Bitcoin, is just a big fan of cryptocurrency in general. Even, has the Algorand speech that got kind of famous. But now he bashes it every chance that he gets. Why the 180?
Well, it's a script, right? So when these puppets are hired, they're given a script, and they're told, for the next 4 years, we're gonna want you to say this and that about certain things. In particular, this next show is going to be a real anti-Bitcoin. And I know you're pretty pro-Bitcoin. So are we, actually. But we can't really let that cat out of the bag until our friends on Wall Street kind of pack their bags. You know what I'm saying, Gary? So at the same time, we want you to poo-poo this whole Bitcoin thing. Every time you talk about it, say something really scary about it and get those noobs out, because we don't want anyone on this jet rocket to the moon when it takes off. We just want our little circle. You know what I mean,
little
Gary?
Circle. Goldman Gary in his tight-knit little golden circle there. Michael M. Now, Matty B, Michael M says there's people who think Gary shouldn't be fired. What do you think is going through those people's minds?
Well, so to a certain degree, he does his job. And I mean, he's, I guess, on paper is trying to protect, but we all know that's complete garbage, right? So he's the only interest he's protecting is his own and his circle of friends. He should be fired. And when his role is done, they will say, and Gary, you're cut, you're done. And they'll just get rid of him, and he'll get a golden parachute into a JP Morgan with Epstein's Baker there. And for the next 10 years, get a $10 million no-show job. No,
yes, we went there, everybody. All right. Well, I pulled up All right. So I said I was looking at some old footage, folks. I actually went back and poured over a lot of transcripts of these MIT speeches here. This is from 2018's MIT introductory course on blockchain. And do we have the audio here?
I'm Gary. I'm a horrible villain. What I want to teach you guys is that you should buy Bitcoin now before Wall Street goes and buys it all up. And at that point, you're out of luck.
And yeah, we actually, that was a pretty good impression right there. We actually have the transcript. If I shrink, I think if I shrink, you might be able to see here. But I will predict that some of you are going to go down the rabbit hole one day. Hit the like button if this sounds like you. You're going to go down the rabbit hole one day, and you're going to be doing blockchain for the next 48 hours, and you won't know where the time went, because blockchain is an addiction. At some point, some of you will get here. Let me hit X. And then 2024, a complete 180. Now, how many times do you have people on the show that say, I ought to invest in something because of how the books and records are kept? I mean, Joe, really? He even did the really thing. Now, Army Piper, I mean, in the past, he was a fan of Bitcoin. Currently, He seems to hate it. He has a lot of scorn for it. You know, I think Matty B's kind of hitting the nail on the head. He's kind of reading a script here. So if you had to guess, Army Piper, where does his true allegiance lie? What is closer to his true feelings?
His future employer, BlackRock. Let's be honest, he didn't really say anything bad about Bitcoin. He said about he downplayed the blockchain and what it actually is, right? Of that it's immutable, and tried the decentralization of what makes Bitcoin, right? He didn't really downplay Bitcoin. He downplayed the foundation and the fundamentals of Bitcoin because, people should be scared. They need to be afraid of Bitcoin, and they need to be afraid of the shady exchanges, and they need to be afraid of this weird unknown technology, and just go the safe way and get your Bitcoin through an ETF at BlackRock. This message is approved by Gary Gensler. So that's what he was trying to do there.
Approved by the Goldman Sachs cronies there. Then one last question on this topic. We'll move forward. Piano Matty B, if we could share my screen here. When asked about the use cases, Gensler raised a critical point. It's the leading market share in ransomware, and that's publicly known. Matty B, is that a valid criticism?
To a certain degree, I think so. But when you see these dinosaurs trying to scare you out of this, what about the central banking? I mean, it's about as sinister as it can get. So if you know anything about central banking, Gary Gensler can say whatever he wants about exchanges. Nothing is as scary, as dark, and as sinister as a central bank.
All right. Maybe we call him Darth Gensler. All right. Well, let's talk about Bitcoin and the interest regarding Google, everybody. Normally, I don't bring up Reddit cryptocurrency because it's a little bit of a S show. So to speak. But I found this article pretty fascinating here. Global interest in Bitcoin is rising again. Currently, it's only 54%, but the price is just 13K from its all-time high here. Going by Google Trends, interest has been growing 41% to currently just 54%. I just want to pull up the graphics just so you can see it visualized, everybody. This is the Google trend for Bitcoin here. It actually spiked in the 2017 bull run. 2021 didn't even do the same. In fact, the second all-time high when the price was higher, it was lower than that first part of the year, the first pump right there. What does that mean? I don't know what you're saying there for. But, we actually have Jake jumping in. I thought you were talking about Joshua, Jake, here. We actually have a new entrance. Jake, I don't know how much of that you heard, talking about Google Trends. Bitcoin is, to us right now, oh my God, Bitcoin's exciting again. Pull up this chart one more time, Owen. And then you go to Google Trends. It's crickets. Retail doesn't care, even though we're only, say, $17,000, $18,000 away from an all-time high. Jake, is this FUD? I mean, are we excited and optimistic? Because this means the best days are yet ahead of us. Or is this Google trend line going to look like the XRP price chart? Yeah, I went there, Jake.
Oh, with the in the stomach, man.
That does look like the XRP price chart, though. 2017 high, 2021 a little lower. Second high of second half 21, even lower than the first half. So it's an added comparison
to the XRP price chart. Honestly,
I'm actually going to pull it up at one point, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm hesitant to believe we're going higher from here. I know that's not what people want to hear. I mean, you can see it there. Google Trends. We're at the retracement levels here. I would love to be super bullish, but the halving hasn't even happened yet. We've had the ETF launch. There was a lot of anticipation there, and that's kind of been we're up from that point. So if you bought the ETF, you're doing okay. But yeah, I'm skeptical. Again, I don't know if we can get back above, like 55,000. I'll get bullish.
All right.
But I think we're going to see some sideways or down from here before we get to that.
All right, Jake, you're going to love this. Hold on. Don't show it just yet. Owen, don't show it just yet. Let me pull up the Google Trends. All right.
Are you going to overlay it? I bet it's on point.
We're going to do a little back and forth here. This is Google Trends for Bitcoin searches. I said it looked like the XRP price chart. Did it? Holy hell, folks. I'm not... you look at a chart enough times, you start seeing patterns. I feel like Jim Carrey in the movie 23. All right. Now, Piano Matty B... I want to ask you a question. There's another normie indicator besides Google Trends, and that is getting the old phone calls from the normie friends and the normie relatives. Have you hit that metric yet? Or have anyone called you during this recent price spike?
No, except for one. I've been in contact with one financial advisor because we're just kind of friends. But for the longest time, he was not legally allowed to sell Bitcoin or anything about it. So he didn't talk about it. Now he can. He's the only one of everyone I know that has gone deep into it. And at the same time, I do have a theory that for the average normie, when the price gets here, so when we see it's like 50K, we know it has a long way to go. But when a normie sees 50K, sometimes they think, well, I don't have 50K, so I'm out, right? They're not educated enough. They don't have enough knowledge to know that I don't need 50K. I need $1,000. I need $500. I just need to not put it in my bank account. I just need to put it into Bitcoin instead of my bank account. So I think once that knowledge spreads where people realize, oh, okay, well, I don't need 50 grand to get into this. I can just get into it with whatever I can allocate. That'll change things. But yeah, we are still early, but that's exciting.
Well, Matty, we both know they're going to open up that Robinhood or that Coinbase app. They're going to see the price of Bitcoin Gold or BSV next to Bitcoin, and they're going to say, I should buy that one instead, right? All right, Army Piper. I asked Matty B about the normie indicator, meaning, you got the relative or the friend who's never really got into crypto, and they call you because Bitcoin is pumping. Is that an indicator that is actually actionable?
Yeah, let me unmute myself there first. Yes, I mean, it is actionable. It kind of gives you that how many people, when are they asking me first off in the cycle timeline, right? But right now before we would hear people call us up and we'd be like, oh, it's time to go, right? It's the shoe shine, right? The shoe shine boy. But with as much marketing and as much media that's pushing a Bitcoin language out there for interest in the marketing and commercial world, I think that it's normal right now to get that. And I've actually had that situation. My neighbor about 3 months ago hit me up and said, my mom and I would like to sit down with you so that we can both get understanding of Bitcoin. We know you're really into crypto. They call me Crypto Rick. Crypto Rick, come over here and tell us about Bitcoin. So I went over there, walked them all through it, explained DCA to them, showed them about, broke down the cycle, the 4-year cycle, the halving cycle, and then showed them where we were on the chart and why that was a good time to start DCA. It was actually early October. So yeah, pretty good time period there. But they have now hit me up about 2 weeks ago and said, hey, we never did anything with that. And we looked at the number today and it's really up there. Is it too late? So now we're getting the FOMO regret phone call is what I'm getting right now. So, and I do think it is a signal. It's a signal of interest at this point because there's a lot more marketing and media coming in on it.
And the FOMO regret, some would say that is Max Payne because you've seen it, you think about what could have been. Other would say, well, no, it's when your coin falls 99%. No, you're not in crypto. We know my favorite coin's going to bounce back to new all-time highs. I just know it in my heart. All right, well, I want to ask everybody the same question here. I'm going to start with Matty B, go around the blockchain. What's a better sell signal, Matty B? Your neighbor asks you about Bitcoin or a Katy Perry Instagram post?
Oh, definitely the celebrity. Once they start making commercials and start posting about it, that's a great sell signal. Always has.
All right. Army Piper, what freaks you out more? The cashier asking you about your Chainlink hat or Lady Gaga tweeting about XRP?
Oh, Lady Gaga for sure, because that usually when they get paid to bring it in, they're that last parabolic run before the rug pull. The person at the grocery store, she's just finally waking up, and that doesn't trick me out at all. I want to see the normie wake up to what is crypto. So,
I think we have one celebrity as the Game of Thrones female, Lena Headey, maybe. I think she bought at like 10K in like 2020. So there's like 1 out of 100 doesn't buy the top. And Jake Claver, what's going to freak you out more? Is it going to be the celebrity's Instagram post? Or is it going to be, just a colleague of yours saying, hey, what about that Bitcoin Gold?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Elon when he came on Saturday Night Live, right? What happened to Doge after that? I would say that's the signal. When you have the celebrities come out and they're screaming it, that's when it's time to pack it up.
Jake, your neighbor comes up to you and says, man, I'm looking on my app, man, and ETH Classic is so much cheaper than ETH. Shouldn't I buy that instead? What do you say?
I mean, if you were in ETH Classic a couple months ago, if you bought back in October, you've made a lot of money since then. So
I know it did have a pump. Oh no! Oh no! I'm about to look it up. It's ETC. That is the ticker. Please don't tell me it's like done something crazy in the past year. Okay. I mean, it did pretty good. Yeah, if you got in, you could have got in $14. Got a little 2x. That's certainly more than what you would have got with Ethereum buying in October. Still pretty good though. Still pretty good. I would say. All right. Well, let's talk about the story right here. A cop stole 81 Bitcoin. Everybody is in Australia, and this Australian cop, he's due in court this week. He's accused of stealing 81 Bitcoin. The price right now, $4 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, 81. That's like $4 million. It's actually a little bit more. He stole it from the Trezor wallet of an alleged illegal steroid dealer in Australia that he was investigating here. William Wheatley, he's an Australian Fed. He's a Fed in Australia in the cybercrime division. He was contacted by a cop in the raid. The cop in the raid said, hey, man, I need some help. I don't know what this thing is. I have the seized wallet from this steroid dealer. The cop texted Wheatley. This is actual text here. I'm going to pretend like I'm reading it here. Hey, mate, you ever seen one of these? Might be a cryptocurrency thing. Yeah, that's the actual message. Hey, mate, have you seen one of these? Later, a cop then noticed 81 Bitcoin was moved off the wallet. Then they looked in the IP of the coins, and they tracked the IP. Guess where they tracked that IP to related to the movement of the coins? The official building of the Fed's office in Australia. It was actually in the Fed's headquarters. Police claimed that Wheatley transferred the Bitcoin 4 days after they texted him about help for the Trezor wallet, and then deposited it into funds in his bank accounts between 2019 and 2022. So he spent years actually doing this. He was accused of theft, dishonestly benefiting himself, and dealing with property suspected to be linked to crime. The Australian authorities, they didn't really have the means or the technical know-how to prosecute this guy, so they contacted some outside help, and they tracked him down. It was a Fed who stole the Bitcoin from the alleged steroids dealer. Allegedly. We'll know. I mean, it looks like he's probably going to get guilty here, though. All right. Well, Piano Matty B, this is a pretty crazy story. Sounds like it could be a movie. Sounds like a SBF fever dream. What are your thoughts here?
Well, when I hear it, I immediately think of a couple holes, right? So, for instance, it's not like a cop can grab a Trezor wallet and go, hey, I got a Trezor wallet here. I think there might have some of those wacky Bitcoins in it. And then that Trezor wallet goes to the Fed, who knows maybe a little more, and he can then get into it. So, like, how did he actually get into the wallet?
Yeah, we don't know. It has not been reported how he got into the wallet. Maybe, I don't think, obviously he didn't do it by a seed phrase. Maybe they coerced the password out of the individual. That is often a thing that happens. But normally the person doing the coercion would actually know how to operate the cryptocurrency. So yeah, very, very good point. There are some holes here. What are your thoughts?
Well, as well, if there's 81 million, and so I'm thinking doing some,
or 81 Bitcoin worth 4 million.
Right, 4 million. So 2019, it wasn't quite $4 million
Correct.
by any means, but was it, enough to get him to shake out of the deal, so to speak? Like he's in there for steroids. What, it was even going to face jail time, and he's giving away all these Bitcoins. So the steroid dealer didn't really know the value of Bitcoin or any knowledge of where it's going. So I don't know. Who would give up 81 Bitcoin? Maybe not now. Maybe 2019. If you didn't know anything about it, you might go here, take these Bitcoin, right? Not knowing that 4 years later it'd be worth $4 million. You just skipped 6 months at a, country club.
Yeah, and it's even more telling. It's not a laptop. So a laptop, you just open up a hot wallet. That'd be one thing. But yeah, opening up a Trezor, I'd have to look into their products. I don't know how many biometric devices they have. Maybe they get his thumb and then perhaps leave it unlocked. But yeah, good points right there. Now, Army Piper, were you surprised when you heard this story? A Fed stealing Bitcoin from the steroid dealer.
No, because I've worked for the federal government for 22 years, and I know the
Right.
crooks that exist there. I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. This needs to be written up in a detailed report and set down on Elizabeth Warren's desk about why you can't really do a whole lot of nefarious activities on Bitcoin, because it's all tracked. Now, had this been cash and they had confiscated this cash, and this guy, being a criminal, nefarious activities, decided he wanted to slowly take some money out of the evidence locker, no one would be able to track anything unless they had him on camera. And if he's got a buddy to turn off the camera, problem solved. But when you've got it on the blockchain, unfortunately, everybody can track down where it's at. And with a little bit of help from some signals intelligence analyst somewhere doing a little bit of cyber track down on the IP address, you're caught. So that's why criminals tend to use the US dollar and not Bitcoin. So can we get this report over to Elizabeth Warren? That would be great.
So I'm sure it'll be misused to great detail, great effect in her hands. You almost gave me a good idea. You know, some of these people are so technically unsavvy when it comes to cryptocurrency. I wonder if you could write a script to reduce a little Bitcoin every 10 minutes. They'd be like, yeah, it's deflationary. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I guess. You know, I guess it just shrinks over time.
Cool.
Like, yeah, all the Bitcoin will disappear off this wallet into a random address over, you know, the next couple of bull cycles. I don't know how deflationary. They're like, maybe that's, yeah, I guess, you know, I could actually almost see in that work, at least with these individuals here. All right. Well, Jake, I want to ask you here. 81 Bitcoin seized. The original arresting officers, they didn't know what the heck they're doing. You know, ends up getting stolen from, I guess, evidence locker. You know, maybe he cloned the wallet there. We don't know the details here. Do you think police precincts are paying attention to this story, or is this story going to repeat numerous times over the next couple of years?
I mean, there's multiple federal agencies that have confiscated a significant amount of Bitcoin at this point, right? Do they? What are you supposed to do with it? Are you supposed to dump it on the market? Like, it's evidence in a case. I don't think what this individual did was right. Obviously, it pertains to the ongoing investigation in the steroid dealer. But yeah, I don't know what's supposed to happen in that situation. Does it just sit in the wallet in perpetuity? How does it come back onto the market? You know, what's the right way to re-enter the market with it? Is it the precinct or the people that confiscated it? Is it their right to then sell it and fund their operations with it? Like, how does that work? I don't even know.
I say we make a referendum and then we vote that the government forces themselves to hodl for at least 100 years, and then we pay off whatever ballooned debt we have at that point. That would be my 2 cents there. I don't know if that will work or not, but you know, it'd be worth a shot. Yeah, good point. U.S. government is the largest holder of Bitcoin. Army, what are you going to say?
Yeah, we should tell them that if they take it off the market forever, it actually decreases the valuation, and the more that it gets held away from people buying it and selling it, the more it destroys the blockchain.
Oh yeah,
integrity.
yeah. It's like ripping $100 bill, man. You're hurting them.
Right.
Do it. Yeah, you don't.
Yes, you're hurting them.
Delete it. Yeah, send it to a burn address.
Put it on this device here. And then burn this piece of paper with your seed phrases forever, and you'll destroy Bitcoin.
See, if I was the guy, I would have sent it to a bunch of jacked male Hollywood stars in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. They're like, why is this steroid dealer sending to Sylvester Stallone.eth, Arnold Schwarzenegger.eth? I would just go over like all the Jason Statham.eth. I know they all have a .eth, even though none of them probably own their own. The Rock. Oh my God, I would send the most to The Rock. It'd be, Dwayne Johnson. He'd be distracted from Maui, at least for the short term there. Now, Matty B, I want to ask you the same question as Jake. Are police precincts going to learn from this? North of the Maple Curtain, is this going to play out, or are they going to take a book from this page and say, oh, we're not going to lose Bitcoin that we steal? I'm sorry, confiscate.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a little bit above their pay grade, like when it's like Piper said about the cash. I mean, they know what to do with cash. They shake down a drug dealer. They can pay 100 for you, 100 for me, 1,000 here. Well, you got a brick, I got a brick. But when it comes to Bitcoin, I would say 98% of all police in Canada don't even know hold Bitcoin for sure, right? So if they ever found a wallet, they wouldn't even know what it was. You know what they think it was? An Apple TV remote. That's what they probably
Roku
think it is.
stick. Yeah, they think it's some Roku stick. Like, I don't want to watch some weird
Throw it
Chinese
away.
app with stolen streaming movies. Nah, toss it in the trash. Probably gonna break
Yeah.
my TV. All right, read some of the chat here. Nicole cooking. Hey, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's as well. C90 Seth from Mind Your Biz did a report about cracking Trezor. Okay, all right. You know what? Maybe Heath. I'm sorry, what's his name? Heath. Oh, Wheatley. Maybe Wheatley just following a lot of Seth's content. Mind Your Biz. He's, I would say, one of the top people when it comes to OPSEC. But speaking of OPSEC, I'll wrap it up with this question for Army Piper. Do they need a CGAR for the Australian feds here? Special Investigative Attorney General, I believe. You know, one that oversees accounting, similar to what we voted against in Ukraine.
Yes, they absolutely do. Matter of fact, anytime that you have government touching money that needs to be accounted for, you should have someone doing that. I actually
Wait.
job,
Should we not just give them
downrange.
blank checks and trust them, bro?
Oh no! Come on now, man. We only do that when it comes to politicians. But when it comes to everyone else that's touching the money, I did it in Iraq. Like, I was accountable for the money that we got paid to give to businesses and stuff like that. You know, boosting the economy there while we were crashing here. You got to have accountability over that stuff, and especially now with crypto, they need to get some really smart people to go and track that stuff. So maybe they can actually tell the truth that everything done on crypto is traceable, and we love that in the finance world. So the threat finance world loves crypto because we can track it anywhere on the planet. Super easy. So
When you were doing Iraqi disbursements, was it with Saddam Hussein's pile of cash?
no, not at all.
That'd
It
just
was
be
US
cool.
dollars. It was pallets of US dollars coming in, and we would help them like set up businesses, or like, you know, hey, instead of being a terrorist, would you like to own an internet shop? And then we will come in and read on these computers every couple of weeks to see if anybody has been contacting terrorists. So we're going to give you a location that is a business so that we can come back in and monitor for more terrorism in your
I'd honestly,
place.
I'd rather money
Yeah.
go to that than a Stinger missile, personally. I feel like that's maybe more effective second, third order effects there. But interesting little insight. I was not aware of that. Yeah, shout out to Will Wheaton as well. But folks, that is all we have time for today. It's been a wonderful story. Let me know down below, what do you think about the 81 Bitcoin stolen by the Australian Fed? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised here? It's just the feds acting like the feds will do. But folks, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And down below, we have links for all the guests that are here. Jake, I was going to throw... Oh, whoa. Army Piper, you got magic effects going on. I'll let you wrap the show up here. Give us your final thought.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, all this knowledge that you can get from, you know, shows, you got to take that knowledge in. And, you know, when you have that opportunity to speak the truth to somebody so that they learn, and, hey, what is crypto? Is it too late to get in? Is it the criminal money? Let them know the truth. Make yourself smart so you can make other people smart. And also follow everybody on here, you know, and shout out to all of my alumni.
Yeah,
in the
that's
chat.
my
So,
alumni. You know what I mean?
You'll definitely, hey, trust me, bro. You will not regret following these people. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.